We good, Dan? Okay, thank you. Call to order the Planning, Environment, and Development Committee meeting of June 3rd to order. We do the roll call, and I'll do a little different this morning. We're all here. That's good.
I object.
Hey, we'll keep this moving forward today. Need a motion to approve the minutes?
To approve the minutes of May 5th, or May 6th, excuse me.
Joe makes a motion to approve the minutes. Carl seconds it. Any discussion regarding the minutes? Seeing no discussion, we'll go to a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We'll move on to public comment. Do we have any members of the public that would like to comment this morning? Not seeing any members' comments? Do we have any members' comments this morning? None, okay. New business, presentations, no presentations this morning. Routine consent agenda. Does anybody want to pull anything off the routine consent agenda?
I move we approve the routine consent agenda.
Any discussion regarding that matter? Okay, if you guys are comfortable with it, that's fine with me. We'll go to vote. Carolyn?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Dina?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Paul?
Yes.
Carl?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes. No old business discuss, reports, number 9, ZBA hearing officer reports.
My very quickest meeting. All right.
I'm like, is this for real?
Here it went crashing.
Summary, yeah.
Fast,
I'd like
for
to
the record.
start way back in we do have a pretty clean set of petitions. There are 7 of them though. Let's see, actually there's 8. One from the May County Board meeting that was tabled or continued is coming up in June. That's for the slaughterhouse in Heartland. So you'll see that one again. And then we have a couple of renewals, variations for some setbacks. Nothing huge. Do you want me to go line by line, or were there any?
Nope, not unless there's
Questions
something
on?
you have a problem with. It's not really open for discussion as far as I'm concerned. It's just everybody. Go ahead, Paul, if you have one you want
I
to
just want to recommend, we have an approved 7-0 and for the first 4, and then approved, is that just a majority approved?
No, it's like the hearing officer approval, right?
Yep, yeah, so all the variations, if they're just variations, go through the hearing officer, and then that person makes a recommendation to the county board, so those are
Hearing
gonna be.
officers, that's still Mike McNerney.
Yep, Mike McNerney.
Mike McNerney, a local attorney who's been our hearing officer here for the last 6 years or whatever, so they just go before him, state their case for the variance.
And then he approves or?
Yeah, if it fits, he can recommend or not recommend.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, that's good. Good to have it out there. And we don't have to approve it just because he did, but he's
Yeah, okay.
recommending approval.
Correct.
They have the same notices, so the surrounding neighbors get notified. It's the same notice process, but you don't have to pay 6 board members, which is what the cost is. A lot of times, if you're a zoning petition, just to hold the cost on it you're paying 7 people to be here versus 1.
Okay, thanks.
Yep, no problem. Good, it works. Okay, thank you, Adam.
You're welcome.
Adam, before you get up, you're doing this again today, right?
Doing this again today.
And probably gonna be doing it for the foreseeable future?
Yes.
In light of the personnel change that was just approved.
Correct.
Talk a little bit about that.
I would love to. Yeah.
You don't want to just pass it through?
Yeah.
I want this to be acknowledged, so.
Yeah, I mean, I talked to Adam, so I was good. Whatever. Go ahead, Adam. Give us a little on it, please.
Yes, yeah, so,
And that would be 7-1 is what we're talking about.
It is 7-1.
Reclassification.
So we've certainly done a lot of analysis in-house with our zoning division, kind of looking at different priorities, different ongoing needs. And one of the biggest needs that's not going away is going to be the petition numbers. We know that solar farms continue to come in. Those may die down, but they're not. We also have just general development, landscape businesses. We have these variations, all of them requiring a lot of staff time. So as we've looked at it, talked with Pete, talked with our staff a lot as well, and kind of looked at what's needed for our division. And even threw in Larry's line about doing this permanently last month. I didn't know it would come true so quickly, but we're reassigning those responsibilities to the zoning enforcement officer and the planning manager. So I'm gonna take some of those responsibilities going forward, the ones that deal with compliance, interpretations, determinations, and we're gonna downgrade that former position to be a planner and add someone to staff that's really been desperately needed with that crew. They've been working quite a bit. Petitions have been up about 50% for the last year. It just doesn't seem to be fading away. And as we look at that, it's for the foreseeable future. When will it change? I think we'll know. And what we're looking at in-house, to be perfectly blunt, is this gives people an opportunity to grow internally and maybe do a hire internally when that position is again merited, when those petitions maybe come down. We don't need so much heavy on the staff side, and maybe we can reassign duties to add that manager back. And I will gladly let that person exist, but for the foreseeable future, it's what's needed for our staff. So I appreciate the support going forward on it as well.
Okay, I talked to Adam about this. I think personally, the common sense approach to put another person on the floor working as opposed to another supervisor that, and he's willing to take over those responsibilities. I think it's a great thing. Bottom line, reduction in the department's operating budget, approximately 20 grand, so that's good.
It's good, that's good.
And even though with the added responsibilities of what Adam's doing, he's not asking for any extra money right now. And I think it's just a great common sense, good way to reorganize this department and make it work. And that's why we passed it without too much conversation earlier.
Thank you. So I appreciate it.
Okay, anybody? I mean, we could have another question. If you got a question of Adam or whatever, feel free. We got some time this morning.
In the back of the room, we ought to introduce.
Pardon?
Yeah, we
People
do
in the back of the room, we ought to introduce.
Yeah, we ought to introduce. So yesterday was also the kickoff for our construction management interns. Whitman Ritchie from Trinity Oaks, and then Aiden Kyle. Yeah, you're at Cary Grove, right, Aiden? Cary, well, you were, right?
Yeah, I was.
You were.
Yeah,
now where are you going?
I'm gonna go to Iowa State.
Say it a little bit louder so Pete can hear you.
To Iowa State.
That's going on. So yeah, and they're joining us for the summer. They've got a wild roller coaster ahead of them. We're throwing a lot of curveballs at them already. So
okay, great to see you guys jump in. That's fantastic.
Yeah, you can thank these guys too for the support. So your summer job is because of this group.
Hey, well, while we're welcoming interns, behind me is Will Davis. Will is going to be a senior at Huntley High School. He's volunteering to help us out 3 mornings a week in county administration to get a little feel of local government. So we're glad to have him here.
Okay, great. Welcome aboard.
Welcome.
Fantastic. Love to see these young people getting involved.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Adam, right?
All right. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, and we did the ZBA stuff, so we're looking at future topics. Carolyn had some stuff she wanted to talk about on future topics.
Well, I'll bring Adam right back because he's going to be able to explain it a little bit better than me. But I did get somebody reaching out to me from the ZBA about just the sheer, I don't know if it's confusion or just, people coming in. These hearings are really long. They get very contentious. And are there ways to look at this a little bit differently? That she'd been looking at different options, say out in Boone County or Winnebago. And you and I talked briefly on Friday. It's been a really long weekend. So anyway, it was just more of, is there something that maybe staff could be looking into that could just, are there other options in terms of making this work better? So it's not so contentious, because I do think that we know that slaughterhouses are needed. I mean, our farmers have been asking about this for a long time. And it's always a big deal if it's in your backyard and that sort of thing. So how can we make the process so it's not so contentious? The rules are laid out. Is it a different type of zoning? Whatever. I have no idea what that looks like.
Sure. And part of what we've recognized is a very big volume of objections, and some of them have requested some tweaks. So I think that's what Carolyn's brought up is the conversation and whether or not if there's some levers to pull to make it a cleaner process. One of them is pushing that to be these only located in industrial sites. But is that practical? It's an agricultural operation, by definition. So, I guess one of the things is, do we look at it? And is there something that the committee would like us to weigh or to investigate further? Because they are contentious, and there's a lot of passion in there, and you all see it. You see all the letters, all the emails, etc.
And the idea being that it has to be practical too for farmers, so I don't have any, maybe getting that input as well, and just what.
Marinko was industrial,
It was.
just to give you an idea of the
Yeah, I mean,
level
I
of.
think-
Yeah, you're not gonna change whatever it is.
No,
I don't think
I'm
so
not
either.
saying that we have a way to change it, but just so you know, I mean, we heard about it for months, and it was an industrial lot.
Yeah,
I mean,
and you don't hear anything about them once it was approved.
no, not a peep.
I mean, you wouldn't even know what's there.
Then I asked Adam very specifically if there's been any complaints on it, and there hasn't been. So it's just sort of, and for what we put up with for that, it was,
And that was, what, 2 years ago?
yeah,
Yeah, about that.
3?
4.5.
4,
And
okay.
Dennis was the director when that was going through.
Oh,
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Time flies.
So,
Got out before the vote. That was like my second meeting.
so it sounds like concerned about trying to find a better way to do this, smoother, less contentious. And are you asking Adam to do that? Because I heard Adam to say, what would you guys want us to do? So who do we want it, I mean, are we gonna bring something to Adam, or are we expecting Adam to bring something to us?
Well, I don't know the best way. I think it was just brought up to me by someone in
Okay.
the ZBA who says this is just a very horrific process for them as well.
It is.
And I don't, I know that they're already looking at like what's going on in different counties. I don't, some of what they do in different counties, their counties are gonna have a different thing.
Structure.
Structure,
Yeah.
whatever. So it may not actually work for us. It's more of, and I know that they're happy to continue looking into it. I don't know what that looks like going forward. Is it bringing a few, stakeholders together to figure it out? Or do we start with maybe having staff do a cursory look at what's happening in different counties? Is there anything that, rises to the top that, hey, we're not doing that, maybe that's an option? I don't know. I'm just
Okay.
trying to bring it forward
Okay.
for discussion. So if anybody wants to think about it and we just regroup next, since this other thing is moving forward anyway, but have people think about what would be good. Jim, you're got a lot of contacts too that.
I think it's just something that we have to go through, that process just has to go through. The people have to have a way to talk their objections if they have
Oh, yeah,
objections.
no, absolutely.
You got your,
And I don't know how you get around it, I don't have a better idea. And I
Well,
don't think
there's-
we try to change the limitations to where it goes when it comes to those.
No, I think it's more I think the idea was that this is a use that we do need in the county, and every time it comes forward, we're fighting as if it will never be here in the county. And how do you do it so that, I don't know.
The problem on this subject, and just like the rodeos, you get everybody from the entire world that come into the county to object to it, that have no business even being here. I guess they do have their business, they have their.
I remember the Maringo people coming in from Colorado, and you're just like, seriously, you're coming here to talk about, a chicken butcher shop, and you're coming from Colorado.
Yeah,
With all those-
and I don't think you ever get rid of that. I mean, whatever you do, it doesn't go away.
Carl, did you have something you wanted?
Yeah, Mr. Austin, we have like Macabre, and Chairman Bueller has his meeting with, county chairman. Is there anything like for the people in charge of the ZBA that they meet from all the counties?
Not that I'm familiar with.
Okay.
Carl. I mean, I think Adam has a professional peer network of the Illinois counties and such, and they might offer some examples of how things can be done differently, but I don't think you're going to find a network of ZBA chairs per se.
Okay. I mean, I know how you guys all meet, and I just wondered if they had one.
Joe?
Well, the other thing is we have very limited tools, okay? You know, you can have a zoning change, you can have a conditional use, you can have a variation. But it's some combination of those things. So, you know, if you want to make it simpler, sure, you could say, you know, if it was an industrial park, you could do it as of right. If it's in a farm field, it's a conditional use. You can, I mean, I don't know if any of those things stop you from having hearings, so.
Well, state statute, so you have to have the hearings, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you have the hearings, it's open to the public. If it's open to the public, you're gonna
All
get a
get
difference of
done.
opinions. So, but if, you know, through your peer network, if you could come up with something, maybe, Jim, you know everybody in the neighborhood on the, does that kind of stuff. Just, you know, maybe somebody come up with an idea that smooth out the process.
You could even talk about what level. You know, maybe it's, you know, if you're doing, you know, you're the farmer and you're butchering one cow for your family, it's probably not the same thing as if you're a farmer and you're bringing in every cow in the county.
Yeah, well, that's,
The volume.
Yeah, the volume. That'd be another way to look at it.
That was a lot of people's concern, was the safety,
Sure.
you know, the byproducts, things of that nature, the water system.
Yeah, but that's all regulated now. I mean,
Yeah.
even if you didn't want to take care of it, the health department would shut you down about
The
5 minutes.
FDA, the IEPA.
You know,
Yeah, but I mean, that
This
was
isn't-
like
this
10 out
isn't-
of 10 people.
so I think, and I don't mean to interrupt you, Paul,
No, I'm
but
sorry.
I sort of did.
Do the cemetery.
Because
It's okay.
I don't know that
That's
it's
my only problem.
their purview to be talking about that
Okay.
specifically. I mean, we're talking
Yeah.
about a way to improve the system, not a particular case at this particular point. I think if we get off track like that, we could get ourselves in trouble. So, well, try to improve the system. Adam, check with your
Sure. Yep.
peer group if you can. If all of us can, you know, stay in contact. I live out in the country. I know a lot of farmers and stuff, you know. Maybe there's something that they would be willing to give or take on. And so,
Okay.
that good? That okay with you, Carolyn? If we,
Oh, yeah, and just to be clear, it's not to not have them. I don't think that was the issue at all, because we've talked about this for a long time. It's also, but it's just to respect the fact that it's a very grueling process, and is there something that can be done? And, you know, that,
Sure.
and I know she's already reached out to you as well, so.
Yeah.
when the ZBA members sign up for that job and get paid.
Oh, absolutely, no, it's not about that, it's about,
Okay.
I do want to acknowledge staff and IT in particular, or how we've handled the big crowds that we've had the last couple of times. I mean, we struggled with that in the past, but I don't know what kind of magic Dan and Greg did with these microphones. It's not easy in the circuits, but we were able to change the sound system completely, and it's helped a lot.
Yeah, our whole system here for listening to the meetings and stuff is a lot better than it was a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else? Future topics we're done with, executive session, none. Motion to adjourn. Carol? Paul? Any comments about adjourning? All those in favor say aye.